everybody, I am Tiffany, and today I am doing another book review. This book I'm very excited to be reviewing. I've been wanting to read it for a while, and I finally got around to it. And this book is Mortal Instruments book number 3, City of Glass. I have read the first two, and I actually do have book reviews on them, so I'll link them in the description, and at the end of the video, there will be a link on the video that you can click on and go check them out if you want. You really should watch those before this one, because this is the third one, and there's a first and a second. But it's up to you. It's your life. Do what you want. I have been wanting to read this for so badly. I got this so long ago, and I finally got to it. I'm in my, as you can see, Shadow Hunter gear. I have my steel/stel, however you pronounce it. I still don't know how to pronounce it. You can tell me in the comments if you want. And let's get into this book review. So for non-spoilery people, this is the third book in the series, so I can't really tell you a whole lot without spoiling you, but I'll give you some statistics and everything like that. So City of Glass got a 4.34 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, which is amazing, by the way, and it totally deserves it. I myself gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because it's worth 5 stars. It's just read it, it's amazing. In my previous videos, I think I've mentioned this, people usually say for the series that the first and second book are good, the third book is mind-blowing. If you're not really into the series, at least read to the third book, and then usually you fall in love with it. Now, I already liked the first and second book, but this one, it blew expectations out of the water. It was absolutely amazing. It still follows Clary and Jace and their adventures, and madness ensues. You still have your main villain from the previous 2 books. You have pretty much all your main characters there. I don't think anybody was left out that I remember. And it's so good. That's really all I can tell you. I'm really sorry, but that is really it. Because I don't want to spoil you if you have not read this. Because, oh my gosh, just read it and make me happy, please. Por favor. I don't know how to say please in other languages. I should though. But yeah, so that's really all I can tell you. There is so much stuff, as you can see by this thickness of a book, that I need to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into spoilery section. Sorry to non-spoilery people. Read this book and then come back. And then we can go through the feels together. Alrighty? Okay. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you later. Rune for goodbye. Pretend that was a rune. Alright, be gone! Oh, City of Glass. Oh my gosh. Coming off of the last book, we had this huge thing happen at the end of the last book where a character named Madeline came in and said that she knew how to wake up Clary's mom. And I was so excited to get to this book, so hopefully that Clary's mom, Jocelyn, could wake up. But right at the beginning, what I thought was going to happen just kind of got squashed into a million pieces. So first of all, it opens with Clary wanting to go to Idris, the City of Glass, hence the title, where the Shadow Hunters live. Because Madeline says that she has to meet a warlock there in order to wake up her mom. So I'm excited because we're gonna go to Idris. That's inevitable. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing stuff wrong. I'm apologizing right now. So don't yell at me if I do. I'm sorry. Of course, Jace doesn't want Clary to go. If you've watched my other 2 reviews, I've had an extreme struggle with this love triangle. You find out in the first 2 books that Jace and Clary are brother and sister. We'll get to developments on that a little bit later. Already, this love triangle I got whisked back into, and I was like, nope, this is frustrating. But what does Clary do? She doesn't listen. Classic Clary, of course. But that whole opening portal scene was so crazy. You're not expecting an attack that quickly into a book. You're expecting Simon and Jace to have a pleasant as can be between 2 guys who like the same girl, conversation, and then they're gonna try and keep Clary from going to Idris, but she's gonna find a way. I did not expect them to be attacked by Forsaken, Simon having to go through the stupid portal too, and then just chaos erupts. everybody is gone to Idris. Clary doesn't know Simon's in Idris, and everybody's gone. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is if you can't tell, I was freaking out quite constantly throughout this book. And then Clary, this is where her little stupidity comes in, but I kind of wanted her to be stupid in this moment, so it was okay. Clary got a pass on this one, because I wanted her in Idris so we can get to that story. She creates a portal herself, and kind of drags Luke in with her. I was like really upset at Clary for doing it, but I really wanted her to be there, so it was okay, but then I didn't want Luke to get hurt. And then what happens? Clary falls in the stupid lake, and Luke has to whisk her to Idris and make sure she survives. I was really waiting for Clary to come into her own on this one, and she's getting better, but she's still not there. Like, she does one good thing at the very end, but other than that, nah, I'm sorry. I need her to go into battle and kick some butt, and then I will be okay. Well, you find out that Luke has a sister named Amadis, so that's cool. But then Luke disappears, like, a couple pages into the book. Like, why didn't you stay with Clary? You know she's gonna get out, right? Amadis doesn't know her, and I was right, because she ran away from Amadis, like, classic Clary. That should be a saying. Classic Clary. Hashtag classic Clary. So then we get a few introductions to a couple of new characters. First of all, you have Aline. I'm gonna call her Aline. I wasn't really sure about her at first. First of all, she had interest in Jace, sort of. So I was like, no, let's get Jace away and pluck him over there, and you can stay right there. You stay away from Jace. Jace is mine. But then as I got to know her more, she was actually really awesome. She kicks a lot of butt, I feel like, definitely. And she's a lot stronger than I think she appears to be at the beginning. I really thought that she was actually going to end up being a bad guy, and she actually wasn't, and she's a hero, and I'm excited to see what part she plays in the rest of the books. I don't know how she's gonna play into it, but I feel like she's going to be eventually really important in this series. Then the other character that we get to know is Sebastian. Aline went from kinda dislike to, oh, you're actually pretty cool. And Sebastian went from kinda like to absolute pure hatred. You could kind of tell something was off pretty early on in the book with him, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. And then when he showed interest in Clary, I was like, is this gonna be this third mysterious man who comes in for the love triangle? Because I think I said it in a previous one that I didn't know how this love triangle was going to work out unless another dude comes into the picture. So I thought that was actually going to be Sebastian for like 10 pages. But then it started happening too quickly. That's a tip in books. If a relationship happens like really quickly, there's a good chance they're gonna break up at some point, maybe they'll get back together, or something's off. And you could tell with Sebastian that something was off. He kisses Clary, and Clary feels that it's wrong, but I still cannot figure out exactly what was his problem yet. I know, I'm quite gullible, aren't I? I thought maybe he had something to do with Valentine, but I did not imagine the extent of his relation with Valentine. That blew my mind. I was not expecting Valentine to have a son that was not Jace. It's not, it's Sebastian. And that last little part, from the moment the demons enter to all the way to the end, oh, he got me mad. He's worse than Valentine. Valentine was pretty bad. Sebastian's worse. And I know that Jace, they say, killed him, but they didn't find his body. So Sebastian's alive. I know that. You don't find a dead body in a book, they are alive. They are alive until you find that dead body. Until then, they're alive. And I'm so irritated that he is, because he is horrible. He is worse than Valentine. 10 times worse than Valentine, and I'm truly scared to see what he can do. Let's see. Let's recount all the horrible things he's done. First of all, he scared me half to death with Isabel. Isabel's one of my favorite characters. I've been waiting for her to get some more character development because in the second book she was not in it that much. She got more. Yes! When they're alone with Sebastian. I do not like Max and Isabel alone with Sebastian. And then what happens? Sebastian hits her in the head with the hammer. And I know that it cut away and it didn't actually say she died, but I truly thought she was dead. I was freaking out. I was like, there's no way she survived a blow from a hammer. She is dead. Isabel is dead. What's gonna happen? I really thought there was gonna be this whole dramatic crying scene with Alec finding Isabel in the house. And I was working myself up thinking about that scene that never even existed in the book. But that freaked me out so badly. When he comes into the Accords and he's trying to talk to Clary, I was like, get away! No, no, no. Alec and Jace did the right thing and made sure Clary did not leave that building. I seriously thought she was going to, because that would be a classic Clary move, okay? It totally would have been. That's not the end of the Sebastian tirade. Near the end, you find out this huge important thing with Simon and his buddy in jail. Sam is Hodge. And I've been wondering where the heck Hodge has been this whole entire time. And I'm excited. Hodge pissed me off, but I was happy to have him back so we could get some things explained. Right as Hodge is about to reveal something very important, who comes into the picture? Sebastian. And he kills him. Are you kidding me? Sebastian? I was furious. I wanted to jump in the book and kill him myself, and I was so mad that nobody killed him. And I was like, guys, you need to get your act together and realize he's a horrible dude. Horrible, 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 horrible dude. So he's still out there. And here's the thing, is that this book has a huge cast. It has a huge cast of characters. And usually, when there's a big cast like that, not all of them survive. I'm gonna be pissed with anybody dying, especially at the hands of Sebastian. Had to get that Sebastian rant off my chest. As I was talking about Sebastian, I mentioned that Simon was imprisoned. This was the one time that I got really mad at Alec. The rest of the book, he was fabulous. Him with Magnus made me so happy. Alec comes back and tells them that they are going to bring Simon back to New York and send him to the portal. That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, that's too easy. My wonderful Jace senses it too, and he tells Alec, do not leave Simon until he is through that portal. But what does Alec do? As soon as the Inquisitor comes, he leaves Simon and just assumes that Simon went to the portal. Are you kidding me? Now he's imprisoned because you didn't stay with him like Jace told you to. People need to listen to Jace. He knows what he's talking about. He's actually probably the most sensible out of a lot of characters besides like Luke. Luke beats him a little bit. Characters sometimes don't have common sense. Clary. And then you had the whole thing where Clary didn't know Simon was in jail. Simon didn't know that Clary was an Idris. It was just a mess. And of course it was Sebastian who told Clary out of everybody. Alec knew, and later Jace knew, and none of them told her. And I was just like, guys, you're gonna need to tell Clary or else she's gonna go through something stupid to save Simon. Clary got more sense in this book. She didn't do classic Clary as much. But they're still there, and I still worry about it constantly. One of the most shocking things was just finding out overall about Jace's whole backstory thing. That made me actually extremely happy. Jace is not actually Clary's sister, and it made me so happy because you gotta realize I have had this huge complex with wanting Jace and Clary together, but them being like their brother and sister, so they can't be together. It's not okay. But now it's okay, and I feel so relieved. And if I find out that they're somehow related in a later book, I'm gonna be mad. But even just his whole story was just absolutely crazy, with Celine being his mom and his dad being a Herondale. I did not see that coming. Now, I do also have the Clockwork series, and I am going to be reading it in publishing order. So after this book, once I get back to the Mortal Instruments series, after this one, I'm actually reading the first Clockwork Angel. So now, especially knowing that Jace is a Herondale, I'm so interested, because I know Herondale plays a really big part in the Clockwork series. Please don't spoil me. Please, please, please don't. It's all going to be okay, guys. We're all going to make it through. Jace and Clary will survive. Woo! The saddest part for me, probably through this book though, was definitely with Max. I seriously thought that Isabel was dead. So I was revving myself up for this really horrible scene with Alec and finding out that Isabel is dead. When I saw that Isabel was sobbing on the ground, I was like, wait, no, Isabel's alive? But my relief came temporarily because then it was Max. And that was so sad. I know we didn't get to know Max a ton, but he seemed like such a sweet kid. And Max didn't deserve to die. Out of everybody, Max was the most innocent, and Sebastian killed him. And I was really, really sad. And then Isabel's grief over it was just horrible. It did lead to a conversation with her and Clary, which Clary actually really needed, but I did feel horrible for her too. Isabel, it's okay. How could you know? He's Valentine's son, he has demonic blood. It's not your fault. I just wanted to tell her that, and I couldn't because she couldn't hear me through the book. It was really sad. And then the other big thing that happened, which we've been waiting for at the beginnings of the book, is that Jocelyn woke up. Not in the way I expected, because Madeline got killed like 15 pages in, but she did wake up. Her and Luke got together, and I was so happy. It was amazing. Luke and Jocelyn forever. That's like one of my favorite couples. Like there's Magnus and Alec, and Luke and Jocelyn, and Jason and Clary, and Simon's gonna end up with Isabel or Maya. I'm not sure which one yet, but oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in the fourth book. One of my friends actually had said that it seems like this could have been a trilogy, and it really could have. But what I did like is that this book kind of wraps everything up, but does kind of what one of my favorite series does, which is Mistborn. You can't see it, but it's like, see my hand? It's like right there. A book wraps everything up pretty nicely, and it really could be the end of the series, but it just leaves little questions here and there that make you want another book. You don't know where Sebastian's body is, so you know he's still out there. Also, that last interaction between Clary and the Fairy Queen sets up some questions too. Clary mentioned something that I was thinking about later on, which is that Jace did get a prophecy saying that he was going to fall in love with the wrong person. And up to this point, you're kind of assuming it's because it's his sister. But they're not brother and sister now, so I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And that kind of scares me because they're an amazing couple. They cannot be separated. Nothing can happen to them. They need to stay together. They've been through enough. You also have the element of Magnus talking to this mysterious woman with brown hair who you have no idea about, so I'm interested to find out who in the world that is and if they become important at all, if there's just a random figure that you never know about. And finally, Simon has the mark of Cain on his forehead, and it's supposed to affect you in some way. And I'm not sure how it's going to affect Simon yet, but I'm really worried about it because I'm not exactly sure what it does, so I'm really worried about that, because I don't need Simon going crazy on me or anything like that. Now, I did hear that the fourth book is mostly based off of Simon. I know that in my previous ones I've been against Simon, but I mean against Simon and Clary together. And now they have pretty much cemented that they are just friends. So that's good. I like Simon as a character in itself. I just didn't like him with Clary. So I'm excited to read that and learn more about Simon. That's really all I have to say about this book. This book was absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved it. Thank you for joining me today and listening to me rant about all the amazing stuff that happens in this book. If you somehow, for some reason, stuck towards the end and you did not read this book, you should still go read it because it is absolutely amazing and completely worth your time. So go pick it up and read this series. It is super duper good, especially if you're a fantasy fan. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any other book or movie recommendations, you can leave them in the comments below. I love movie recommendations. I love book recommendations, so please give them out. And I'll definitely do a review for you. I write down all of your suggestions and I keep them on a little notepad, and I know like when I go to the bookstore or buy movies to watch out for them and get them. I'm really, really grateful for all of you who watch this, and just thank you so much for joining in to me week after week. Have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this, and don't forget to be awesome. Goodbye.